Hi everyone, I want to show you how I made this front balcony card. It's quite easy to make, to be honest with you. It's only made out of 3 pieces. For this particular card I used the Dovecraft Happy You papers, and then I also used their Dovecraft Rose Gold Miri card, and it gives it a nice shine to it, and then it also folds flat. And you can fit it in a 6x6 envelope, which is handy. Okay, so we're going to have a go with making that now. You have to excuse me, I've switched cameras, so I'm now using my phone and everything's kind of upside down. So I'm going to try and work upside down. So you need a piece of card that is 6x6 inches. And you need to score it. This will be upside down probably for you. Let me turn this upside down and see if I can do it upside down. No, I can't quite fit it in. Okay, I'm going to have to do it upside down and I'll tell you the measurements. Right, so you need to score it halfway at 3 inches. All the way down. Okay, so that's scored all the way down. And then just need to fold that in half and give it a good burnish. Okay, so put that to one side. Next you need a strip, which is going to be your outside strip. And this strip measures 7 inches by 1.5 inches. And on this strip, you just want to score at 1/2 inch. And then you want to score at 3.5 inches and 6.5 inches. So I've scored at 1/2 inch, at 3.5 and at 6.5. And so with this piece, you want to fold the 2 1/2 inch pieces back on themselves, like that. And then you also want to fold the half one in half, basically. So you end up with that. And that's going to go on the front of your card. So just put that to one side for now. You also need another piece which measures 5 inches by 2.5 inches. So on this piece, you want to score at 1/2 inch, at 2.5, and at 4.5. And then again, do the same thing again. You fold the outside tabs out, and then you fold the middle bit also out. So you end up with, again, another piece that looks like the other piece, but it's just that it's a bit taller, that's all. Okay, so that's all your scoring that you need to do. Now the best thing to do is to start by, let me just get some tape. You need to cut out all your matte layers and all of your, I've got all my pieces here, I'm going to get them all out. Right, let me just move the bits I don't need right now. You just need a whole heap of flowers and a whole heap of leaves. And then you just need to cut out some matte pieces out of a contrasting card and your pattern paper pieces as well. And I've made a little envelope. Right, so you will need, now this is not going to show up very well against this mat because this mat is also purple, but you will need 2 pattern plain card pieces, and the plain card pieces are 5 3/4 by 2 3/4. So you've got 2 of those, 5 3/4 by 2 3/4. Okay. Then your pattern panels that go on top are 5.5 by 2.5, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to stick those on. There we go, so we've now got 2 panels. Then they're ready to go. We're not going to stick them on yet. You can if you want, but if you look at this one here, I did stick it on. I don't know if you can see, just right here at the front. Here. Oh, you can actually see the tab. So I just thought for this one I might stick this front panel on behind the side panel. And then obviously you're still going to see the tab from this inside panel, but at least you've only got one tab and not two. It helps with this paper because at least this paper is white based. So when you've got your, if you didn't want to do that, your white tab's not going to be too offensive because you've already got white. I mean, obviously it covers up the flowers, but it's not too bad. If you want to, like I have on that one there, you can always cut a little bit of scrap paper out and just stick it on just to hide your tab. So that's those two done. You also need, let's do the front one first, 2 more little pieces, and these measure 2 3/4 by 1 1/4. Okay, and then you need 2 pattern panels to go on top, which are 2 1/2 by 1. So we're going to stick those down. That's that piece done. So they can go to one side. And then last but not least, you need 2 squares that are 1 3/4 by 2 1/4. Hold on one second, have I got that right? I think so. Let me just measure it and find out. Yes, that's right. 1 3/4 by 2 1/4. And then your pattern panels are 1 1/2 by 2. So again, you just want to stick those down. So next, if you take your, we'll go backwards. So we'll start with the inside one first. Take your, the 2 you just stuck down. They're going to go on that bit like that. Okay, so we're going to stick those down. And this piece goes on there like that. It's good to have an anyway up pattern if you can, because it just makes life a whole lot easier. So that's your piece that's going to go at the back of your card. So put that to one side. Then we get the other piece, which is your front piece, and these 2 are going to go on the front like that. And so that's your front piece done. Right, now we're going to take the actual card blank itself, or the card base. And as I said, if you want to, you can go ahead and stick these onto your card back. If you want to do that now, you can. I'm going to hide my tabs, the first lot of tabs. Now for this you will need some tape really. I mean, you could use wet glue, but I prefer to use tape because I want it to be stuck and it to be stuck, if you know what I mean. So we're just going to make, just going to put some tape on the 2 ends. Like that. And then if you just peel the back off one of the sides, like that, turn it under, and then what you want to do is you want to marry it up with the bottom of your card. So I'm doing this upside down, so it'll be the right around for you. Excuse me if my head gets in the way, hopefully it won't. So you want to marry it up with the bottom of the card, like that. So you're literally getting it so that it's in line with the bottom and it's in line with the edge. That's what you want. Once you've stuck that first one down, the next one's easy because you literally just take the tape backing off, fold it over and stick it down straight. It makes it a lot easier. So that's your first, that's the front of the balcony. Right, so now we're going to go ahead and stick these in. So these are going to go in here, like that. And for this I am going to use wet glue, because it gives you a bit of time, especially if you're trying to get it in, it gives you a bit of time to wiggle around. So I am going to use wet glue on this. You can use tape, you just have to be really precise if you use tape. And if you are using tape, I would definitely advise using the corner method, where you only peel the backing off the corners of your tape. So I'm going to stick this sideways, then I can see where I'm sticking it. I'm going to make sure you've got a nice border around the outside, nice and even. There we go. And then we're going to stick this one on as well. And if you can see there, it just makes it a lot neater inside if you haven't got, you see that tab in the way. I mean, you are going to end up with a tab in the way with the next thing. However, it's, you know, at least you've only got one lot rather than two tabs. But as I said, if you're not worried about it, or if you know, you can always put a bit of pattern paper over the top, so it's not a problem. So now you want to take your second piece, and you're going to put some tape along there and along there. Right, so the trick with this one is if you fold the whole thing in half, like that, we turn this up the right way, oh it is the right way around for you, that's cool. If you turn the whole thing in half like that, peel off one side, and then what you want to do is if you lay this, you really want to lay it in so that it is, well, okay, so I'm going to stick it with it closed, so you're not going to be able to see it very well. I'm going to try and stick it, but if you look at the one that I've done already, you see it only, this is the inside one, it only comes out this far, which is what, about an inch? Probably about an inch, that is. And so that's what you want to do. You want to measure, I mean, do it roughly, but it's about an inch, so it protrudes about an inch. So when you're shutting this up, so this is sticky at the moment, maybe, I mean, this grid on here is an inch, so I'm going to put it there. So I want it no bigger than there. And the other thing as well is this is level with the bottom. You see how that middle one is level with the bottom. So that's the other thing you need to be aware of. So when you're going to stick this in, you're going to put this in, it's going to be about an inch, and then you want to make sure that it's level with the base of your card. Now I'm going to have to pick this up because I can't do it without getting my head in the way. So it's going to be about there. And then when you're happy with the positioning, give it a good press down, and then just peel off the backing on the other side. And this is a bit fiddly because you're doing it inside your card, but then if you press it down again, then that sticks it, and there's your double balcony. And then all that's left to do, if you want, you can raise that up if you want to make it a little bit higher so it's not in line with the base. You can, but I quite like it like that because it's only a little bit higher. In fact, I think, yes, it's literally a little bit higher. And the whole thing should have a nice flat. There shouldn't be any bits of card protruding out the bottom there. And then all you need to do is start sticking your, I'm going to put a just for you on that side, I think. And I'm going to go around the edge with a purple marker. And then I'm just going to go ahead and stick the foliage on it. Now for the foliage, I've cut out some fern leaves out of Miri and 3 of these little other leaves. I know everything's upside down now, I'm really sorry, but I have to do it the right way around for me, otherwise I'm not going to be able to put it on. I'm going to use this Dovecraft Ultimate craft glue because it's very strong and it does very well. My nozzle is clear. Sometimes your nozzle gets blocked up on these glues. Thankfully mine is clear. So I'm just going to squeeze it out. If it does get blocked, then all you need to do is get a cocktail stick, take the top off, and then you can dob the glue from there. As you can see, it's not, it's quite an easy card to do. So I'm just going to do this. And so there you go. There's the finished card. So as you can see, I've just stuck the butterfly on, put some little gems, and then just arranged all my flowers, and there you have it. And it folds flat, and as long as these leaves don't go past that line, then you can fit it in a 6x6 envelope. Okay, so hopefully you'll have a go. See you next time.